Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Paper Preview. I'm your host, War Machine MJ. This is going to be a short, sweet episode since I'm alone in the shop. No Rod, no Malcolm, they're busy. This is going to be a preview of NXT Takeover San Antonio. Now we're going to do our Rumble predictions tomorrow, where I'll at least have one of them. So, here we go. I don't usually do the shtick like what Rod does, but yeah. Got NXT Takeover San Antonio tomorrow night. Is coming from the Freeman Coliseum in, of course, San Antonio. You know, it's going to be the calm before the shitstorm that is the Royal Rumble. So, it's a nice, short, sweet episode. So, I'm going to go ahead and kick things off. First match on the card is Roderick Strong versus Andrade Cien Almas. Now, these two, they were part of the Fatal 4-Way a couple weeks back for the number one contendership, which that was the dawn of the Thunder Chops. Yeah, sitting there chopping each other, it was just ovacious and fierce. But a couple weeks ago on NXT, well, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, Andrade, after he defeated Oney Lorcan, he basically called out Roderick Strong in some form or fashion. I forget the gist of it, but he basically put this wheel in motion. And not to pat myself on the back, but I kind of called this. But I'll get to that in a minute. Then this past week on NXT TV, Andrade was taking a backstage interview where, you know, they were asking for clarification why he called out Roderick Strong. And Roderick basically came up and interrupted that interview by saying, listen, you can either be a man and kick me in the face right now, or you can do it in the ring. Andrade walked off, and as Roderick was giving his interview, Andrade just ambushed him. So, but I kind of called this a couple of weeks back. I didn't exactly call everything to it, but I just did some of the stuff. In the Fatal 4-Way, I called that Roderick Strong and Cien would have a rivalry, and here we go. Proof's in the pudding. But I'm picking Almas to beat Strong. And I'm saying that this rivalry is going to end at Takeover Orlando, WrestleMania weekend. Because I want to see this rivalry. I think it's going to be great. Moving on, we got the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, taking on Sanity's own Eric Young. Now, this is, you know, this all stems back to the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Trying to get my words right, that way I don't just shit out. Anyway, Ty Dillinger and Bobby Roode were supposed to fight Sanity. It was Sawyer Fulton and Alexander Wolf. Couldn't remember their names. Anyway, you know, that was where Roode left Dillinger high and dry. So Dillinger wanted a little payback against Sanity. This is like a month back. And, you know, he gets the upper hand on Sanity until Big Damo just trucks him and beats the hellfire out of him. And fast forward to last week's, not this past week's, but last week's NXT TV, where Ty Dillinger was telling people what's next for the Perfect 10, and Eric Young comes out and offers him a spot in Sanity. You know, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. You know, that sort of shtick. Naturally, Ty didn't want to join. So out comes, not Big Damo this time, but Killian Dane. That name sucks. Yes, they renamed Big Damo as Killian Dane. That name sucks. But yeah, Big Damo, as I'll call him, took up Sawyer Fulton's jacket, his spot in Sanity. He just joined Sanity this past week. Ty basically said in a backstage interview, bring one of them, bring all of them. I'll knock them all down one by freaking one. So, but I see EY going over on Dillinger because Sanity. Next match is going to be the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Championship. It's going to be Asuka defending against Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, and Sanity's own Nikki Cross. Now, I don't like Billie Kay or Peyton Royce. They don't really stand out to me. Asuka, you know how we feel about Asuka. And Nikki Cross, man, something about Crazy Girls that I like. But sadly, I see Asuka walking out and retaining. Because Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, they don't get the pop they need for championship status. Nikki Cross, she's bound to become NXT Women's Champion, but not till later. Give her a little time to develop. And Asuka's going to prove that she's dominant once again. Because everybody wants a piece of the Empress. Next match is going to be DIY versus Authors of Pain for the Tag Team Championships. Of course, the running story was, in Toronto, DIY got the tag team titles. Meanwhile, the Authors of Pain won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Well, then the next week on NXT TV, DIY was going to celebrate before they got cut off by top guys. Dash and Dawson. See? This is what happens when I'm by myself. I fuck up. Anyway. But Dash and Dawson tried to stick their nose saying they want their tag team titles, and out comes Authors of Pain. So they made it to where DIY versus Dash and Dawson one last time. The winner is the new tag team champions, and will go on to Toronto to face, San Antonio. Sorry, get my shows mixed up. Go on to San Antonio to face Authors of Pain. Authors of Pain have been severely dominant since they showed up last year. But I see them losing this bout. I'm going to say the more plausible route is they lose by disqualification. They're big guys. I don't see them, tapping out so easily. But I pick DIY to win. Again, that could have been a better name than DIY. I would have called them Psycho Wrestling. Psycho Killer, Johnny Wrestling, Psycho Wrestling. Moving on to the main event, the biggest money match in NXT history. It is the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura, defending against glorious Bobby Roode. This match is exactly it. Glorious. You got the two of the biggest stars in the world colliding. I mean, need we say more? This is just a fantastic match. A fantastic match, on paper. However, I see Nakamura retaining and moving on to take over Orlando against Roode one last time, where Roode will get it. But I can't wait. So this has been a nice, short, sweet episode. Come back tomorrow and we'll have our preview of the Royal Rumble, the biggest shit fest in playoff season. It's not the road to WrestleMania, it's playoff season. And then next week, we will have our review of Takeover, San Antonio, and the Royal Rumble. Anyway, that is all for this time. I'm War Machine MJ, and we will see you fuckers next time.